No mud, no Lotus. I am back from my European travels. Many of you probably noticed this already since I've published about 2 videos since I've been back. But needless to say, my journey through Europe, through Western Europe, through Spain and the Canary Islands, which are a territory of Spain, was transformative. But I will get into the details behind that trip during many live streams to come, many videos, and many podcasts to come. But with this specific episode, I wanted to introduce the new branding for Here Nor There, or better yet, a refresh of the branding. So many of you have noticed the black cube that has became a staple, has become the logo mark of Here Nor There moving forward into the future. Also moving forward into the future with this podcast format, I will continue to describe what is actually going on in the thumbnails. Every thumbnail that I create, especially since the spring of this year, every thumbnail that I create has a hidden meaning behind it, has symbolism behind it, because to understand consciousness is to understand symbolism, because every great book, every prominent religion has symbolism within it in order to install the programming, in order to install the belief in you that everything is happening through you, not to you, that you are the operant power. And it is when we do not understand this symbolism, or when we're not taught this symbolism, that things can get a little bit confusing, that we live lives that we come to find have no direction, no fulfillment. Our love lives are in shambles. Our money, our resources is in a state of lack. Our lives have no direction. But yet, if we understand symbolism, we understand that this knowledge has been passed down for millennia. And there's a method to the madness. Symbolism is the only way you can pass down important information. When I was a practitioner of Shotokan karate, you cannot find too many books or YouTube videos explaining karate to you. It is an oral history. It is a martial arts of an oral history, and it is passed down from master to pupil. And when the pupil becomes a master, he passes that down through spoken language, through spoken word. Now imagine if you are passing down the secrets of the universe. You are passing down the secrets of consciousness. Just like a game of telephone, if you say, this is the reason why, this is this is that, people will misinterpret it and they will spread it. They will spread that misinterpretation. Those of us that are involved in the Neville Goddard community, especially, his words, his very direct meanings, his very direct sayings to things have been misinterpreted and have been mistaught simply because somebody misunderstood the very plain English he was saying. So when you use symbolism, that is a way to preserve the knowledge so it can be passed down accurately to others, which brings us to the new Here Nor There logo. It is essentially a black cube, and there's several meanings behind it, but I will only tell my members, my dedicated few. Well, let me take that back. My dedicated lots of you, because we have a very large community on the membership side, and it will continue to grow with a further announcement that I have coming in a live stream that I will continue to announce as we pass through November. But the Here Nor There logo has transcended from a 2D version to a 3D version. You all may remember the more rectangular version of the Here Nor There logo. That has transcended into the cube version, where you see the full logo mark as a series of cubes, still playing into the MC Escher, bending with the perspective and the surreal nature of our vision and how we interpret shapes. The black cube metaphor is present to describe how our 5 senses are bound within this reality. But to understand who you are, to understand your purpose, you have to break free of the illusion. This is why Neville always talked about this world is a shadow, that this world is illusion. What you see before you is not true. The fear that you have in your mind is not true. That when you transcend, that you start to see a reality through your visualizations, through your vision boards, whatever tool you use, you start to see a reality that does not exist yet, and you bring into fruition. And it's your choice. You as a human being have this superpower. And it is your choice. It is your free will whether to bring in heaven or to bring in hell. And you do so by what you focus on and what you shift your emotions to. No mud, no lotus. What it means is that the lotus flower is a beacon of hope and perspective. For even though you're going to go through hard times, you're going to go through this universe that we live in of rhythm, the principle of rhythm that I've discussed many a time in the last couple of months. These hard times yield beautiful lessons. They yield beautiful results, and they yield meaning to our lives. But if you bloom despite all the ups and downs, if you persist despite all the ups and downs, blooming in spite of the mud, you as the lotus flower will develop resilience. And that's where that resilience comes from. It comes from struggle. Without struggle, there is no growth. And that's where your life path begins. Many of you are struggling with a certain thing or a certain someone, but it is that struggle where you find the strength to be a different person, to become a different person, and to stay that different person for the many, many more decades you have in this beautiful reality. So that's essentially what our new logo stands for. The black cube. You'll see it in different colors. But remember, this cube is not a prison. This cube is for you to become who you were meant to be. I believe that you can be this person. And my mission in this reality is to convince you that you can be this person. I am Shaun. You are neither here nor there.